This is one of those worship services. If you had a broken wing, you could still fly.
Yeah. All right, Pastor.
Yes, amen.
I first want to give honor to God and to all of you assembled here. Our guest preacher, my good friend Bishop, all the way from Texas.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
To our other visitors that are here this morning. And we just pray that something that was said or done here was a blessing to you so far this morning, and that the word will be a blessing to you as well. My topic this morning, it's all about your light that draws others. The scripture we read, coming from Matthew chapter 5, verses 12 through 16, has been ringing in my ears, and I don't usually preach about current events or topics, and I'm really not going to do about it today, but I'm just going to make a spiritual statement through the message.
Come on, Pastor. Come on, Pastor. All right.
There's a lot that has gone on in the last couple of weeks. Decisions that have been made that affect a nation.
Not God.
Situations that have caused divisions within a nation. Fear that people are losing something.
Come on now.
Somebody's gaining something they shouldn't have. And other folks are saying, I won't let go. All of this is going on right now. But when I stopped and I thought about it, this is nothing that hasn't gone on before.
Come on, preacher.
Yes.
Nothing is new, as Solomon said it, under the sun.
Nothing.
The same things that are going on now have gone on for generations.
Yes.
I remember hearing my grandparents say or listening to grown folk conversation where I shouldn't have been involved in, but you know, even as kids when we couldn't say anything, we always listened.
Yeah.
And you listen and you learn. Sometimes they wouldn't even want you to sit around. They said, go on, you see grown folks talking. Well, I'd go out the room, but I'd turn my ear up. Because I figured they're saying something I'm going to need to know. And some things they say I couldn't understand. Some of the things I said, I'm going to remember that. And one day I'm going to find out what it means. And now that I have reached them grown folks' ages, waiting on my red, white, and blue card, a lot of them things I know now. What they said, I said, oh, so that's what grandma meant. That's what granddaddy meant. And they used to say, you know, the world's getting weaker and wiser, and the world's coming to an end. You can just see it every day. Yeah, and it still is.
Yeah.
But I want to look at a couple of things here. What did Jesus do to win others? What must Christians do to further the cause of Christ?
Yes.
And what is our responsibility as far as our relationship in the Lord?
Yes.
Shirley Caesar put it this way in one of her songs, We're Living in the Last Days. She said, as she sang, we're calling right wrong
Yeah.
and wrong right.
Preacher.
However, here is the thing I'd like to get across to every Christian if I could. Everybody that wants to jump up on a bandwagon,
Come on now.
everybody that wants to mandate things for non-Christians,
Yeah.
Come on. Make it plain.
here's my statement. This world is not our home.
Preach that.
We are just visiting ambassadors.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, let me explain what I'm saying here. If we can just think about what an ambassador does. An ambassador to a country is that country's representative from another country.
Yeah, yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Now, we've got ambassadors all over the world.
Yes.
But the only place we can stick up our American flag is on that embassy.
Yeah.
And on any U.S. installation that we have there, that's considered U.S. sovereign territory.
Yes, sir.
But now we can't dictate to England and say, throw the Queen out, because we have a constitutional democracy and you don't, because England is not our home.
No.
England is the home for English citizens. We can't go to Canada and tell them to stop singing "Oh Canada" and start singing "America the Beautiful" or the Star Spangled Banner, because Canada is not our home. We can't go from West Virginia into Maryland and tell Marylanders to abide by West Virginia law. Not going to work. You don't pay taxes over there. They don't pay taxes over here. However, when it comes to the household of faith, this is our home. This is our ambassador's territory. This is our embassy. The house of worship is our embassy. And the world cannot.
Come on. Come on.
The world cannot.
Come on.
Though they might try, they cannot come in and tell us what we do in our home. Because as for me and my house. Now, that's not something Reverend Jackson wrote. As for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. I don't care who says God is dead. I can say in my house, he's very much alive. Because in my house, when I get up in the morning, I feel his presence. When I walk around the house during the day, he walks with me. He talks with me. And he tells me I'm his child. And the joy that we share as he tarries there, none other has ever known. You can't tell me he's dead in my house when he's very much alive, and I see him right there, and I see him right there, and I see him right here. He's very much alive. And he orders my steps. This isn't our home down here, but this is our embassy. And we are on sovereign soil for the Lord. We can't change anyone, but we can live Jesus before everyone. Now, you know, one thing that happens in an embassy sometimes, there are people in the strange land that aren't happy with what's going on in that land. And they want to get out of it. All right? So what they do is they make their way to that embassy and they ask for asylum.
All right
Now, let me explain what I'm talking about so I can paint the picture of where I'm going. You see, that means that there is something that somebody has lived before the people in that country that makes them want to be a part of the country where they're trying to get asylum.
All right now.
Somebody might have heard about the land of the free and the home of the brave. Somebody might have heard about there is freedom of worship in our country where there's not in some other countries. Sometimes we look and see all of the things that are going on in the world with ISIS here and ISIS there and ISIS everywhere. And I kept thinking, I said, you know, there's some folks over there probably not happy with that, and somebody is trying to seek asylum somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's why we have the church, which is our embassy. Because heaven is our home. That's our nation. Our citizenship is in heaven. And every now and then, somebody is going to want asylum. So how can we do that? Well, there is a lady that stands in a harbor in New York. She's been standing there ever since the French government gave her to the United States.
Yes, sir.
And for all them years, she's been standing there with her arm in the air. And underneath her statue, there's some words that say, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be free.
Yeah.
She wears a crown on her head, and the torch she holds is the torch of liberty.
Yeah.
Well, I want to tell you something that's not new either. Because a long time ago, I'm not going to be up here long. A long time ago, somebody went to a place called Golgotha. And they stretched him high and wide. He had a crown of thorns upon his head.
Yeah.
But I remember before he got to that place, there were some words that he uttered that said something else. Come ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Whosoever will, he also said, let them come and drink freely of the water of life. He also said in this passage in the 5th chapter of Matthew, blessed are they that hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Somebody is coming hungry. Somebody is coming in a world that's trying to live on wax fruit. They want the real fruit. The real fruit is Jesus the Christ. The real fruit is the living word. The real fruit is the lily of the valley and the bright and morning star. He gave us a mandate to let our light shine. That means if he has ignited the joy of the Lord down in us, then we have a mandate everywhere we go. Even when we step out of this embassy onto foreign soil right outside the door, which is the world, keep your light turned on. Somebody needs to see Jesus in you. I've learned something. You can't legislate morality, but you sure can model it. You can't legislate deliverance, but you sure can be a testimony of it. If God has done something for you, let your light shine so somebody can see it. If the Lord has saved you, then let your light shine in a sin-sick, dying world. When you walk into a room and somebody looks at you and says something's different about you, that means your light's shining. When they look at you and say, you don't want to do what we're doing? No, that's not a part of me. That means your light is shining. We need to let our light shine because we're on foreign soil when we walk out that door. You're on foreign soil when you go to where you work tomorrow. You're on foreign soil when you go in a school building. You're on foreign soil. But when you walk in your house, that's hallowed ground. That's home territory. That's another ambassador's embassy. That's where you reside. You see, every ambassador has to have a place where they live until they get called home. Because one day our diplomatic papers are going to be taken away. One day we got to leave here. One day he's coming back. And he's not coming back for somebody that just acted it out. He's not coming for somebody that's walking in the dark. He's not coming back for somebody who's not one of his citizens. He's going to come back and ask for your diplomatic credentials. He's coming back and he's going to say, come on home now. You've been away a long time. You've been an ambassador on foreign soil long enough. Step out of mortality. Mortality means something that's dying or something that will die. And step into immortality, which means that's something that will live forever. And then it says that I will exchange my embassy for a mansion. I will exchange my diplomatic papers for a crown and a robe of righteousness, because I will then be able to hear him call me in for my debriefing when the saints of the ages are gathered at the foot of the throne. I said I was almost done. He calls you at the foot of the cross, and he will say these one words that you should have your ear beckoning to hear, thinking about when you look back and how your soul wonders how you got over through all the hardships, the trials, the tribulations, and the times the devil tried to do you in. I just want to hear two words from my Savior's mouth. When he looks through the book and sees my name, I want to hear two words that will make me have a sanctified fit at the foot of the cross. Two words that'll make me cry tears of joy as he wipes them away. I want to hear, well done, thy good and faithful servant. So until that day, I'm holding up my light. I'm wearing my crown of salvation, because one day Jesus is coming back for a church that was without spot or wrinkle, and calls him their Savior. Is there one this morning? Is there one?
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you for the word, Pastor. Amen.
Is there one? There ain't no nothing like my head down on that. Nothing like it.
Hey. Thank you, Lord.
But we need to do like that song says, this little light of mine, just let it shine. Don't worry about who's going to you know where in a handbasket. You let your light shine. Don't you worry about who's bound and shackled. You just show them what freedom looks like. Show them what freedom looks like. Freedom is being able to live in the liberty of Christ. Show them by letting your light shine. Because Jesus said, we're like a city on a hill which can't be hid. You know, one of the things I noticed now that we have these satellites going up in the air, somebody had the audacity one day to do something. Oh, I'm feeling it now. They had the audacity to turn a camera back at night and look at the earth from space. I even saw pictures of it. And what you could see down on the earth at night were little clusters of light from thousands of miles in space. I said, them street lights, them house lights, them car lights, all together send up a light into the universe. What makes you think that if we can do that on earth, the little light we have in our soul doesn't radiate through the Spirit for others to see who walk in darkness? Because one thing light does is light puts a curse on darkness.
Amen.
Y'all see that? You know why you see it? Because the light went on and the light's
Gone.
gone. But when the light is on, you see it.
Yeah.
Yes, Lord.
You see it. And you can see it all the way in the back because the light's on.
Yeah.
And that's why we need to let our light shine, even if you're not feeling saved. If you know that you are saved,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
your light might be turned down on dim, but it's still a light. And to somebody in darkness,
Turn it up.
it might be blinded.
Yeah.
Is there one?
My God.
Amen.
Thank you,
Won't you
Lord.
stand?
Amen.